Okay, ready? Here we go. Look at that! It started right up. I was pulling on this thing for hours at one point, and it wouldn't start. Welcome to episode 2. We're going to be working on this lawnmower today. This lawnmower is going to be for our very first rental property that we have. So I transported it out here to the property to work on it out here because I didn't finish it at the house. So this place is about 4 hours away from where we live, and I wanted to get it done and get it out here. So first thing I'm going to show you on this repair. Sorry, I'm gonna. Okay, first thing I'm gonna show you on this repair is this piece right here. Make sure you can see. Okay, so this piece. This is the cover that goes over the nice fancy plastic cover. They don't tell you about this cover. What I didn't see about it is that you figure this thing pops right off. There's nothing secure in it. Popped the front off, pulled it like that. It popped off, pulled it off, found out there's a screw under there. They put a screw underneath the sticker. Like, I don't know how you're supposed to know that unless you know it. I don't know. Maybe something tells you somewhere, but I didn't know it. So remember that, guys. This Cub Cadet SC100 walk behind. There's a screw right there underneath 3-year warranty. Keep note of that. You have to take it apart so you don't just rip the screw out like I did. Let me get under here and get me a couple tools that I need. So what's wrong with this? What the problem is with this lawnmower is that it won't start. I already ran some starter fluid through the intake. Started up and ran on starter fluid. Well, that tells us that we got good spark. Obviously, we got good air. That also tells us that it's not getting fuel. You add fuel to the airstream, it fires off and runs. That means you're not getting fuel into it on the normal way it's supposed to get fuel. So I did find out through a little trial and error on pulling this thing apart is it's best to take that cover off and pull this off. Pull the string, what you call it, the pull assembly, the pull string assembly apart. It just comes right off. I always like to put the bolts back where they go so I don't lose them. Just screw them back on there. So you can access all this stuff to get the carburetor off via the outside without taking off all this stuff, but it's really hard to drain the gas. That's what I figured out. But if you take those bolts off, well, I put them on premature. When you take these bolts off, this cover comes off along with the gas tank. Why is that helpful? Well, it's helpful so when you pull the gas tank off, I need some pliers, I don't think I got any. When you pull this hose, there's a hose under here that you have to pull off, and then you can drain the gas in a gas can because likely you're not going to be empty here. So let me get to that. Let me go grab I gotta go grab some pliers. Okay, we're back and got some pliers. So let me get you a little closer look inside of here, show you what I'm dealing with. Okay, so if you look right under here, you have the tank. Right under there, there's a hose that goes from the tank over to the carburetor. You got to take that little hose off. There's a little hose clamp under here. Pull that back. And then what you can do is you take this, angle it down so that your gas doesn't run out. And you pull that off. Let me just make sure. Let me grab a rag. Get a little rag here because I think a little bit of gas might come out. Whatever's in this hose right here. See, there you go. Boom. See that? No gas came out. I got all the gas in here. Safe. Now I'm just going to set this off to the side to where it doesn't leak any gas. Isn't that just handy? Okay, now what I gotta do is we have to take off these bolts to get to the carburetor. This right here is just this mechanism actually is what holds the carburetor against the engine, and this is what keeps it from leaking and things like that. So this is the actual carburetor mounting bolt right here. This is just like a holding bolt for the housing for the air housing. There is one more clamp here you got to take loose for this. It's like a vacuum line is what my guess is. Pull that vacuum line off, get that out of the way. Pull this nut off. And you can't really put these back like I did those. You got to kind of just keep up with them, make sure you don't lose them. This part's a little tricky. See, this is just don't lose your gaskets. This is just like a little some mechanism that idles this thing up and down. I don't know what that does. Gasket, don't lose that. Keep that in a safe spot. See, make sure you can see this. So if you look right here, there's this turns and it lines up. See, there's like a little slot right there. It turns, and then you can pull that out. I think I need two hands. See it? You turn it, you pull that right out. Then there's a little spring on there. You pull that spring off. This gets tricky. The best way I figured out how to get this off is you just gotta kind of, I don't know if this is right. Somebody that actually knows how to do this is probably going to say, don't do that like that. But you kind of just gotta kind of keep it straight and pull it off. It gets real tight, and then you can take this last one off. You want to be careful. The carburetor's off. You want to be careful not to get gas everywhere because there's gas inside of this thing. So you want to just kind of drain that out. So you have a problem of not getting fuel. It's because your carburetor most likely is try and get out of the wind. You get out of the wind here. Your carburetor is most likely clogged up. A lot of times that's due to not running it for a long time. It just gets gummed up and it gets messed up. So what you want to do is pull the carburetor off to clean it. So I got most of the gas kind of drained out of this thing. And what I did to help me out is I just used the existing mounting bolts here, and I'm just going to put it upside down so that I have something to hold it. So I can pull that off. You don't want to lose that. That falls off of that thing. So now you take this is like a drain plug. Take this out. And That's why you want your rag handy, because then more gas will come out. So you want to just kind of drain all that gas out of there. Try not to deal with that anymore. And make sure you keep up with your screws, and these flies are killing me. Take this bolt off. So this bolt in the center is what holds the cap of this, the little bowl that holds the reservoir bowl that holds the gas in it. So you gotta take that loose. Now you're down into the float portion of the, oh, see, you got gas just comes out everywhere. We're gonna have rags handy. So this float fills this reservoir up. When the float floats up, it stops the gas from coming in from the tank. The gas gets sucked into here through your carburetor. So you have a little mechanism in there that that can plug up. It's a little ported hole in there. What you need to do this is you need carb cleaner, and you need a little, I got this from welding supply, maybe Northern Tool or something like that, but it's stuck. This is it cleans tips. It's a tip cleaner for like a for a, what you call it, a for a tip cleaner for a these flies are killing me, guys. I'm sorry. I'm losing my thought process here. Tip cleaner for a torch. Torches have little tiny holes. These have little tiny. What you want to do is you want to stick it in there, and you want to run it all the way through there. You might even see it come out the other end. You just want to just kind of flush that thing out. Take your carb cleaner here. Get the little straw. And you want to just kind of spray it in. Spray it through there. Now watch out with this carb cleaner. It goes everywhere. You just kind of run it. Just spray it through that hole there. See how it's kind of dripping out the bottom? The thing you want to do is you want to kind of spray it. Now, I'm sure people will tell you, you got to put gloves on when you handle the carb cleaner. You know, we don't do that stuff around here. We just kind of spray it. There's also a little port there that's good to hit. Right in there. You just want to kind of get this thing really doused down with carb cleaner. Make sure you're getting it all cleaned up. You may run your little probe through this hole. Your little wand. Make sure you kind of get that thing nice and cleaned out. Nothing's in there. Okay. Everything's looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and slap this bad boy back together again. Again, you can use the, I like to use the, I like to use the, I like to use the bolts, the mounting bolts to kind of hold it. I was almost like a vise, so to hold it kind of steady so you can put these bolts back in. Tighten them down real good. You want to make sure these are tightened down real good. You also want to make sure too there's no, I probably should have looked at that and went over it. See, then you drop your nuts, drop your screws, and your gaskets, and that's bad. That's bad. Where did it go? Here it is. Here it is. See, this nut here, this bolt has a little gasket on it. I almost lost it. Pull that off. You see there's like there's a little gasket there too. You want to make sure there's just no debris on there, because if there is, you'll get a leak. You don't want a gas leak when you're dealing with your stuff. Put that back on. Make sure the gasket's on your bolt. Put that in. Tighten her down. Get her nice and snug. You got your drain screw, also has a gasket on it. Put that in. Put that in. Got kids yelling in the background out there. Then you flip her around. You want to make sure it's the right way. So a good way to tell is this is the port that the tank went into. So you know it has to go this way. If you put it in this way, you can't hook up to that thing. So pretty quick and easy way to tell you got it on the right way. Wait, missing a crucial step. You got to take your little rod here that came out before. Put it back in this little flapper. I don't know what that flapper does. Put your flapper in there, put it there. Then you just got to kind of maneuver it back over again. It's real tight. It's real tight. It's a real pain. This part right here sucks. There's probably a better way to do this. And I'm sure somebody in the comments will be able to tell you that. But that's back in. This part's super simple because it just kind of it turns over. Why they didn't make this the same way, I don't know. You got to make sure to put your little spring back on there. That's back, that's back. Spring's back on. Make sure your gasket, again, make sure there's no debris between your gasket and your carburetor. This thing likely kind of fell apart or came loose, fell on you. You got to kind of put that back where it goes. There's like a little slot under there. Boom, that's back in there the way it was. Oh, see, I'm making crucial mistakes here. You can't forget your gaskets. You got to put a gasket there. Put your gasket in. Then this. You know what? You want to make sure the gasket's the right way too. Hang on a minute. It's the right way? It is. It is. See, look. Let me show you. See the gasket. If I flipped it this way and put it in there, see how like the little slots don't line up right there? But if you flip it over, see, if we were smart, we would have kind of paid attention to that. Look, see how that lines up with that slot, that lines up with that hole. Now we've got it back again. We've got the gasket on there correctly. Another little hole there that I kind of missed. That's what happens when you do these things for the first time. You notice things. An expert would know exactly where to do this, but like I said before, we're going to play this stuff by ear and we're going to learn together. There's another little hole right there. I'm just going to run the rod through there real quick. Run a rod through this one. Okay. Make sure they're cleaned out. I bet you they're good. Put that on, put that on. Put that back on again. Perfect. These flies are killing me. That's what happens whenever you come to the wonderful hill country of Texas to work. You get flies and you get bugs, but it's beautiful weather, nice and quiet. I don't want to work anywhere better. Put that back together, put that bolt back in there. I'm going to tighten these up real tight, because remember, these right here, the bottom two bolts, these are the bolts that holds the carburetor onto your engine and holds those gaskets all snug and tight so you don't have any leaks. You gotta make sure to get these real nice and snugged up and tight. You don't have to over tighten them, but you just want to make sure that they're tight and not leaking anywhere. Okay, you got that tight. It's on there nice and snugged up. You can put this little vacuum line back on with this little clip. Holds it on there. Once you get your little clip back on, bang, boom. Now you can get your gas tank back again. Make sure you have it tilted up like this so you don't lose your gas. You want to shove that gas line back on. And once you shove it on, it's not like under any pressure or anything. You can gonna take my little holder bolts back off here. Keep those in a safe place. Safe place. I mean, once you get that hose on, you can kind of rotate your tank back around and get it kind of set. And then you can take your pliers and put your clamp back on, because that hose ain't coming off, it ain't leaking. You know, it's not really, the clamp's not holding it closed. The clamp is just keeping it to where it doesn't move. It just keeps it in place. So you're not going to leak anything. Now you want to take put your reel back on, your pull string reel back on. This can get a little tricky because some guys are out here with the family camping in our camper in our new property we bought. We're going to start an Airbnb business. I'll probably turn the camera around here in a second and show you that. Make sure you can still see. Yeah, you're good. I'll show you all that in here in a minute. You snug these down right here. Snug that down. Snug that down. And hopefully it works, guys. I don't know. Let's see. Well, it may have been a waste, but we'll see. That may not have done the trick. I almost would say that's too easy. Hopefully it works. But we got a property out here in the hill country. Nice and quiet, out in the middle of nowhere. But we got a house build going on out here. Yeah, it's gonna be beautiful. Going to be beautiful. All right. Let's try and start this thing. What do you say? For some reason I stopped the recording and okay, now I got the mower pulled off the tailgate that I was working on. So one of the things you had to do to transport this thing is had to pull these little yellow bolts out of the handle. So now I got to put these back on there just so that it will. The handle doesn't go everywhere when I try to start this thing. But I had to fold this handle down to transport it in the back of the truck. That tonneau cover closed. It doesn't fit with the handle up. So let's find a good spot to start this thing. I don't want to start in the rocks here because it's gonna kick up a bunch of. I want to kick a bunch of rocks up and stupid fly. I don't want to kick up a bunch of rocks. And, fling one at somebody, one of the children or something. All right, let's go over here and find a good kind of dirt area. It'll work right here. Or you can get a good view of the house in the background. We're trying to start this bad boy. Let's see. You know what though? I wonder if the gas has already got down into the carburetor. Let's see. Let's just try it. There's no choke on this thing, which I find odd, but you know. Okay, ready? Here we go. Look at that! It started right up. I was pulling on this thing for hours at one point, and it wouldn't start. Just fired right up. Clean carburetor does the trick. That's all you need. Remember, got an engine. 3 components you need. You need air, you need fuel, and you need spark. Quickest way to tell if you're missing something, take a can of starting fluid, spray a little bit in the air intake, run it, start it, pull it. If it starts and fires up, you know you got spark, you know you got air, you're just missing the fuel piece. Fuel comes from the carburetor. Clean that bad boy up, back in business. All right, well, hope you all enjoyed this video out here in the hill country. Ooh, I'm losing you. Hope you all enjoyed this video out in the hill country. I don't know if the wind really killed us, but we'll see. Thank you all, and be safe, have fun, and keep DIYing.